Good morning, students. My name is Pivina, guest DL in Zoology at TTWRDC Women's Rajanna Sisila. So today I would like to explain about the transcription in prokaryotes and eukaryotes. So first of all, you have to know about what is a transcription. So transcription in prokaryotes, it requires the DNA double helix to it partially unwind in the region of the RNA synthesis. The region of unwinding is called a transcription bubbles. Okay, so this transcription along proceeds from the same DNA strand for each gene, which is called the template strand. Okay, then next see about the what is the transcription. The process of synthesis of RNA by copying the template strand DNA is called transcription. Or otherwise it is known as also it is a process of making an RNA copy of a gene sequence. This copy is called as a messenger RNA or mRNA molecules. This is leaves the cell nucleus and it enters the cytoplasm, where it directs the synthesis of proteins which it encodes. This is the transcription. So during replication, entire genome is copied, but in transcription, only the selected portion of genome is copied. Okay, so the genome involved in transcription is a RNA polymerase. It is unlike DNA polymerase. It can initiate transcription by itself. It does not require primase. So more exactly, it is a DNA dependent RNA polymerase. DNA dependent RNA polymerase. Okay. So which types of steps are involved in the transcription? So mainly transcription it is an enzymatic process. So the mechanism of transcription completes in 3 stages. First one is the initiation stage, and second one is the elongation stage, and third one is the termination stage. So first you have to see about initiation stage. In the initiation stage, the transcription is initiated by RNA polymerase. RNA polymerase is a hollow enzyme from a specific point. That is called a promoter sequence. And that bacterial RNA polymerase is the principal enzyme that involved in the transcription. Okay, so this single RNA polymerase, it is found in a bacterial which is called core polymerase. And it consists of 2 alpha subunits and 2 beta subunits, and one is the omega subunits. 1 alpha subunit and 2 beta subunits, and then next one is the omega subunit. Okay, so this and it consists the alpha, beta and omega subunits, and the core enzyme bind to specific sequence on template DNA strand that is called as promoter. The binding of core polymerase to promoter is it is a facilitates and specified by sigma factor. The core enzyme, the core polymerase along with sigma factor is called a hollow enzyme. RNA polymerase is a hollow enzyme. In case of Escherichia coli, promoter consists of two conserved sequences, that is the 5' to 3' directions. So in the first sequence it consists of 5' to thymine and guanine, adenosine, cytosine, adenosine to 3' directions. Okay, at this direction it consists of 35 elements, and the next sequence is the 5' to 3' direction. So in 5' to 3' direction it consists of thymine, adenosine, thymine, adenosine, adenosine, thymine, 3' directions. At this direction it consists of 10 elements. Okay, so this sequence are upstream to the site from with transcription begins and it binding of hollow enzyme to conserved sequences of promoter from closed complex and it consists the and actually initiation is a major complexes. Initiation is the consists of three major complexes. So first one is the closed complex, and second one is the open complex, and third one is the tertiary complex. First one closed complex and open complex and tertiary complex. So in the first see about the closed complex. So closed complex is the binding of RNA polymerase. Binding of RNA polymerase hollow enzyme to the promoter sequence that are formed closed complex. Okay, then it becomes to a open complex. So then next about the open complex. So in the open complex, after formation of closed complex, the RNA polymerase hollow enzyme separates the 10 to 24 bases. 10 to 24 bases extending formula. Okay, it is formed the minus 11 to plus 3, that is called the melting, and so that open complex is formed. This changing from closed complex to open complex. So this process is called isomerization. So what is the isomerization? So the changes from the closed complex to open complex is called the isomerization. Then next see about the tertiary complex. So this is the tertiary complex. So in the tertiary complex, RNA polymerase starts synthesizing nucleotide. It does not require the help of primase. Okay, it does not require the help of primase. Okay, so if the enzyme synthesis short RNA molecules of less than 10 base pairs, it does not further elongates, which is called abortive initiation. Okay, so this is because of sigma 3.2 acting as a mimic of RNA, and it lies at the middle of RNA exit channel in open complex. Okay, when the RNA polymerase manages to synthesize RNA more than 10 base pairs long, it ejects the sigma 3.2 region and RNA further elongates and exits from RNA channel. This is the formation of tertiary complex. Okay, then next see about the elongation. So this total is called the initiation stage. So in the initiation stage, it consists of closure complex, open complex and tertiary complex. Then next see about the elongation stage. Elongation stage in the prokaryotes. So after synthesis of RNA more than 10 base pairs along the sigma factor. So it is rejected and the enzyme move along 5' to 3' direction. So this 5' to 3' direction continuously synthesizing RNA. Okay, so the synthesized RNA exit from RNA exit channel. Okay, so the synthesized RNA is proof it's reached by hydrolytic editing. For this, the polymerase and backtrack by one or more nucleotides, and it cleaves the RNA, removing the error, and it synthesizes the correct one. Okay, so the gray factor enhance this proofreading process. Okay, then next pyrophosphorylated editing, another mechanism of removing alternated nucleotides, and also the RNA polymerase travels the template strands from the 3' to 5' direction. The coding non-template strand and newly formed RNA can also be used as reference points. So the transcription can be described as occurring 5' to 3' directions only. Okay, then this elongation stage becomes to termination stage. Okay, so in the termination stage there are two mechanisms of terminations. So first one is the row independent stage and second one is the row dependent stage. Okay, in the mostly bacteria are used two different strategies for transcription terminations. So first one is the row independent strategy and row dependent strategy. So first, what is a row? It is a row factor is a prokaryotic protein. It is involved in the termination of a transcription. Okay, so this row factor binds to the transcription terminator pass site. Okay, it is an exposed region of single stranded RNA. Okay, so this single stranded RNA, it consists of a stretch of 72 nucleotides. After the open reading frame, at C-rich or C-rich means here cytosine-rich or guanine poor sequences that lack obvious secondary structure. Okay, so this is the structure. This is the row factor. Okay, so then see about the row independent termination site. So this is the row independent termination site. So this row independent site is usefully in this mechanism. Transcription is terminated due to specific sequence in terminator DNA. Okay, so the terminator DNA, it contains a invert repeater which causes complementary primary as a transcript RNA form. It forms the hairpin structure. Okay, so this inverts the repeater followed by a larger number of thymines. Okay, so number of thymines on the template DNA. So the uracil appear in RNA. The load of hairpin structure is not tolerated by adenosine and it is binded with the uracil. So this base pairs, so the RNA, the RNA get separated from RNA DNA heteroduplex. Okay, so this is the row independent termination. Okay, then next this is the row dependent termination in the prokaryotes. So in the row dependent termination in prokaryotes, what is what type of changes occurs in the row dependent termination in prokaryotes? Okay, let us see about the row dependent termination. So in this mechanism, transcription, it is terminated by row protein. It is terminated by row protein. Okay, so it is ring shaped strand. It is binding ATPase protein. Okay, so the row protein bind the single stranded RNA as it exits from polymerase enzyme complex, and this hydrolyze the RNA from enzyme complex. Okay. So the row protein does not bind to those RNA whose protein is being translated. So rather it binds to RNA after translation. Okay, so in bacterial transcription and translocation occurs, and it simultaneously. So the row protein binds the RNA after translation. After translation has completed, but transcription is still on. Okay, so this is the prokaryotes replication. Transcription. Okay, so then next see about the eukaryotic transcription. Okay, so in the eukaryotic transcription, so what is the eukaryotic transcription? Transcription, it is the process by which the information in a strand of DNA is copied into a new molecule of RNA. That is the transcription. That is the transcription in eukaryotes. Okay, so it is a first step of a gene expression in which a particular segment of DNA is copied into RNA by the enzyme RNA polymerase. Okay, so it results in a complementary anti-parallel RNA strand. It's called a primary transcript. Okay, so transcription is occurs in eukaryotes in a way that is similar to prokaryotes, with references to the basic steps are involved in the eukaryotic transcription. Okay, some major differences between them and that are initiation is more complex. Initiation is more complex, and termination does not involve stem loop structure. Okay, and this transcription is carried out by 3 enzymes, that is RNA polymerase 1, RNA polymerase 2, and RNA polymerase 3. Okay, so the regulation of transcription is more extensive than prokaryotes. Okay, so RNA polymerase, let us see about the RNA polymerase 1, RNA polymerase 2, and RNA polymerase 3. So first one RNA polymerase 1 or RNA polymerase 1. Okay, so it is located in the nucleolus and transcribes the 28S and 18S and 5.8S RNAs. So these all are ribosomal RNA type subunits. Okay, so it consists 28S, 18S and 5.8S are RNA genes. Okay, then next see about the RNA polymerase 2. RNA polymerase 2, it is located in the nucleoplasm and transcribes the protein coding genes. So this protein coding genes to yield pre-mRNA and also the genes encoding small nucleolar RNAs. It involved in RNA processing and small nuclear RNAs involved in mRNA. Okay, so then next RNA polymerase 3. So this RNA polymerase 3 is also located in the nucleoplasm. Okay, it transcribes the genes for tRNA. It transcribes the genes for tRNA and 5S rRNA and U6 snRNA and the 7S RNA is associated with the signal recognition particles. It is involved in the translocation of proteins across the endoplasmic reticulum membrane. Okay, so each of the 3 eukaryotic RNA polymerases contains the 12 or more subunits, and so these are large complex enzymes. Okay, so the genes encoding some of the subunits of each eukaryotic enzyme. That each eukaryotic enzyme shows the DNA sequences similarities to genes encoding subunits of the core enzyme of Escherichia coli RNA polymerase. Okay, so the next see about the steps of the transcription. In eukaryotic transcription. Okay, so the basic mechanism of RNA synthesis. By this eukaryotic RNA polymerases can be divided into the three phases. First one is the initiation phase, and second one is the elongation phase, and third one is the termination phase. Okay, so first one is the initiation phase. So in the initiation phase, during initiation, RNA polymerase recognize a specific site. The specific site on the DNA, and it is upstream from the gene that will be transcribed called a promoter site, and then unwind the DNA. Okay, so the promoter sites for RNA polymerase 2, it is include a highly conserved sequence that is located about 25 to 35 base pairs. So this 25 to 35 base pairs upstream of the start site, which has the consequence. Okay, so since the start site is donates as a position plus 1 the Tata box position, it is said to be located at about position minus 25. Okay, so then the Tata box sequence, it is resembles the minus 10 sequences in prokaryotes, except that it is located future upstream. Okay, so both elements have essentially the same function, that is namely recognition by the RNA polymerase in order to position by the RNA polymerase in order to position the enzyme at the correct location to initiate transcription. Okay, so the sequence around the Tata box is also important in that it influences the efficiency of initiation. Okay, so the transcription is also regulated by upstream, that control elements that lies 5' to the Tata box. 5' to the Tata box. Okay, so some eukaryotic protein coding genes lack a Tata box and they have an initiator element instead. Okay, so centered around the transcriptional initiation site. In order to initiate transcription, RNA polymerase II, it requires the assistance of several other proteins or protein complexes, that is called general transcription factors. So which is must assemble into a complex on the promoter in order for RNA polymerase it is bind and start transcription. Okay, so these all have the generic name of transcription factor 2. So this transcription factor for RNA polymerase 2. So the first event in initiation is the binded of the transcription factor protein complex to the Tata box via one its subunits called Tata box binding proteins. Okay, as soon as the transcription factor for RNA complex has bound transcription factor RNA polymerase 2A, it binds and stabilize the transcription factor RNA polymerase 2D Tata box in interaction. The next transcription factor 2B binds to the transcription factor RNA polymerase 2D. Okay, so however transcription factor 2B can also bind to RNA polymerase 2 and also acts as a bridging protein Okay, so this RNA polymerase 2, which has already complexed with TF2F, it means transcription factor RNA polymerase 2F now binds. Okay, so this is followed by the binding of transcription factor 2E and H. So this final protein complex contains at least 40 polypeptides. And it is called the transcription initiation complex. Okay, so this initiator element instead of a Tata box appears to need another proteins that binds to the initiator element. Okay, the other transcription factor then it binds to form the transcription initiator complex in a similar manner to the described above for genes processing a Tata box promoter. Okay, so this is the initiation phase. So the next becomes the elongation phase. So then next see about the elongation phase. So in the elongation phase, actually transcription factor 2H has it has a two functions. So first function is the it is a helicase, which means that it can use ATP to unwind the DNA helix, allowing transcription to begin. Okay, so then second function is the, in addition, it phosphorylates RNA polymerase 2, which causes this enzyme to change. It can formation and dissociate from other proteins in the initiation complex. Okay, so the key phosphorylation occurs on a long C-terminal tail. C-terminal tail, that is called the C-terminal domain. Okay, so this C-terminal domain of the RNA polymerase 2 molecule. Okay, so the only RNA polymerase 2 that has a non-phosphorylated C-terminal domain. It can be initiated transcription, but only an RNA polymerase 2 with a phosphorylated C-terminal domain can elongated RNA. Okay, so then next RNA polymerase 2 now starts moving along the DNA template synthesizing RNA. That is, the process enters the elongation phase. Okay, so RNA synthesis occurs in the 5' to 3' direction, with the RNA polymerase catalyzing a nucleophilic attack by the 3OH of the growing RNA chain on the alpha phosphorus atom on an incoming ribonucleoside 5-triphosphate. Okay, so the RNA molecule made from a protein coding gene by RNA polymerase 2 is called a primary transcription. Okay, so this is the termination. So this is the elongation phase. Then next, this elongation phase is to be continued with the termination phase. Elongation of the RNA chain, it continues until termination occurs. Okay, so unlike RNA polymerases in prokaryotes, RNA polymerase 2 does not terminate transcription at a specific site. Okay, but the transcription can stop at varying distances downstream of the gene. RNA genes are transcribed by RNA polymerase 2. So this RNA polymerase 2 lack any specific signals or sequences that direct RNA polymerase 2 to terminate at specific location. Okay, so the RNA polymerase 2 can continue to transcribe RNA anywhere from a few base pairs. So that's a few base pairs to thousands of base pairs past the actual end of the gene. The transcription is cleaved at an internal site before RNA polymerase 2 this RNA polymerase 2 finishes transcribing. This releases the upstream portion of the transcript, which will serve as the initial RNA prior to further processing like pre-mRNA in the case of protein encoding genes. Okay, so this cleavage site is considered the end of the genes. Okay, so the remainder of the transcript is digested by a 5' exonuclease while it is still being transcribed by the RNA polymerase 2. Okay, so uh, when the exonuclease catches up to RNA polymerase 2 by the digesting away all the overhanging RNA, and it helps disengage the polymerase from DNA template strand. So finally terminating the round of transcription. Okay, so this is the termination in eukaryotic transcription. Termination phase in the eukaryotic transcription. So actually in the eukaryotic transcription it has three phases. First one is the initiation phase, and second one is the elongation phase, and third one is the termination phase. Okay, so finally in the termination phase, DNA template strand terminating that round of transcription. Okay, so then next see about the RNA processing. So the primary RNA processing, the primary eukaryotic mRNA transcription, it is much longer and localized into the nucleus, when it is also called heterogeneous nuclear RNA or hnRNA or pre-mRNA. Okay, hnRNA means here heterogeneous RNA or hnRNA or pre-mRNA. Okay, so then in RNA processing it has cleavage and capping and tailing, splicing and nucleotide modifications. So first see about the cleavage. So in the cleavage, larger RNA precursors are cleaved to form smaller rRNAs. Okay, so in the primary transcript it cleaved by ribonuclease to form 5 to 7 tRNA precursors. Okay, so then next see about the capping and tailing. Actually, initially at the 5' end and a cap, that name is a cap and a tail of poly A at the 3' end of the in 3' are added at the end of the region. Okay, so at the region 5' it consists of a cap. That name is the 7-methylguanosine or 7-MG. Okay, so this 7-methylguanosine cap is located at the region of 5' direction, and poly A tail is consists at the end of the 3' direction. Okay, so the cap is a chemically modified molecule of guanosine triphosphate. Okay, so then next see about the splicing. Okay, so in the splicing, the eukaryotic primary mRNA are made up of two types of segments, non-coding introns and the coding exons. So the introns are removed by a process called RNA splicing, where ATP is used to cut the RNA, releasing the introns and joining the two adjacent exons to produce mature mRNA. So in this PPT, blue colored is okay. So in this splicing process, introns, it consists of non-coding introns and coding exons. The introns are removed by a process called RNA splicing. Okay, so that mustard yellow colored structures are the introns. So that introns are removed by a process that is called the RNA splicing. Okay, so where ATP is used to cut the RNA, releasing the introns and joining two adjacent exons to produce mature mRNA. So in the third stage in this PPT, the third line is totally in the blue color. So that blue color is the mature mRNA. Okay, so then next nucleotide modifications. So this nucleotide modifications is they are most common in tRNA methylation. Okay, for example, methyl cytosine and methyl guanosine. Okay, next one deamination. So what is the meaning of deamination? Amines are removed from their group, that is the deamination. So for example, inosine from adenine, and then also another modification is the dihydrouracil and pseudouracil. Okay, so this is the nucleotide modifications, and this is the totally transcription in prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Okay, thank you all of you.